Okay, so being a musician and not being able to play with other people actually kind of sucks. I wanted to get something together where I could do long distance collabs with some of my friends, but I wanted to put a little spin on it. So I came up with the idea for a new series called Blind Collabs with Brad. Basically, the idea behind this series is for me and a friend to kind of do a long distance collaboration without ever actually discussing anything about the music. So one person will start by creating the first element of the track, whether it be melody, bass, synth pad, whatever, and then send the file over to the second person. They'll add another element, pass it back and forth a few times until we got a full track. I'll do a little mix, and we get what we get. Just to get us on the same page, I kind of set out a few loose rules. Each contributor will get 3 turns for a total of 6 elements. I thought we'd generally aim for a final track length of about 2 to 3 minutes. Don't spend any longer than 90 minutes on any given element. Sound design effects are cool, but leave mixing elements to me at the end. Both acoustic and electronic sounds are all fair game, and I wanted them to feel free to go as simple or as out there as they wanted to. And for the first track, I got in touch with my bassist friend Pat, who I met back at music school in 2012. Okay, so for the first element, I spent about 20 minutes or so just improvising lines on the trumpet. Then I took that in Ableton and kind of cut it up into little bits, Frankensteined it together, kind of patched some stuff together that I thought sounded cool, and I came up with 2 main sections. So for the A section, I was going for something a little more melodic, a little longer phrases. Maybe I was hearing some potential synth pads underneath it later. I didn't really know, but this is what it sounded like. And for the B melody, I went for something a little more driving, with some phrases that really kind of shake up the tonality, and I added another layer of trumpet up an octave above what the original trumpet sound was. In both of these trumpet sections, I tried to kind of go with some odd phrase lengths here and there to kind of keep Pat on his toes and keep things interesting. So going into hearing Pat's first element, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought maybe I'd get some bass since he's a bass player, but uh, I got what I've since been referring to as the bleep bloop synth. So this this kind of threw me for a loop, to be honest. It wasn't really what I was expecting. I was really into it, but yeah, like he took the tonality and he took the harmony into a place that I was not I wasn't expecting, but I was pumped. I was really happy to see it right off the bat go in a really unpredictable place because I thought that would be fun. And it kind of made me adjust what I was going to do next. So, I mean, that's the whole point, I guess. Next up, I programmed a little electronic drum beat over the B section. I kind of wanted to outline some of the ways the rhythms were feeling to me, as well as just kind of get us on the same page in terms of the phrasing here and that kind of stuff. So this is what I came up with. And then Pat came back to me next and he dropped the bass line. And the B section, it was pretty much what I was expecting. It was like a driving, punchy thing, the same kind of vibe that I had in mind when I originally wrote the trumpet part. But the A section was absolutely not what I was expecting in the best way. He came back with some kind of like arpeggiated, really nice melodic lines on the bass. And then he caught my little funky line at the end of the phrases, which I think, fit so nicely. So I was really pumped on this. Again, just like going a completely different direction than what I was expecting. The last element I added was this little synth counter line. kind of wanted something they just added a little more interest, like little background part at this point. I thought we had all the main elements covered. And I also did a little tricky thing where I wanted to reference the B melody in the A section. So I took this little part of the trumpet melody and I transposed it, put it in a different key for the little synth background. And so it's kind of like a little nod to the B section, a little foreshadowing. All right, and then Pat came up and finished it off with some nice synth pads. And then he also, with the same instrument, had a little swell in some of the space in the Bs. So at this point, I was feeling pretty good. I went back to Ableton, kind of did a quick mix on everything, and I came up with something that sounded pretty cool. I asked Pat if he wanted to name this track, and thanks to Patrick, this song is called Sick Nasty. So thanks for checking this out. I hope you like this new kind of format. If you have any suggestions on how I can kind of improve this or change some things up, spice it up a little bit, let me know. Leave a comment or whatever. I got a few more of these already cooking, so there's gonna be a few more, even if this gets 5,000 dislikes. But you know, that's what you get. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Subscribe.